So, thanks so much for joining us today.
All right.
We live in such incredibly exciting times, right? The whole world we live in is changing, in large part due to the technology that cloud is enabling. And so every day you see businesses are being disrupted, consumers are getting new choices, we're doing old things in new ways that are just fundamentally different. The app economy is taking over, and all this is enabled by cloud technology. It seems like every week we have a new startup challenging an incumbent, finding a way to excite customers, delight customers, engage people in ways that just haven't been done before. It's funny, if you look back into advertisements from the 40s or 50s, you see the delight that people had, the excitement, the curiosity that was engendered by things that we take for granted right now. That same kind of emotional experience is happening when people engage with old ways of doing old things that were done before, but in new ways with apps. That's all enabled by the cloud. And even old industrial companies, some more than 100 years old, they're transforming themselves into software companies. And how amazing is that? And in doing so, they're leaving their competitors behind. All of this is enabled by cloud, by everything as a service. This is our brave new world because we get almost infinite access to an almost infinite number of services on demand. That's incredible. It allows us to innovate faster, experiment faster, fail faster, and at much less expense, and therefore increase the rate, the pace, the impact of our success. This is amazingly transformative, and I'm sure everyone in this room knows that. But everything as a service does not mean everything is easy. In fact, it introduces its own challenges and risks, some of them very substantial. And companies that overcome these risks will compete and draw ahead. They'll engage new customers, they'll build new markets, they'll redefine the economics of their industries. But the ones that don't are at risk in their core businesses. The fact is that making applications scalable in the cloud is really hard. Even if you're blessed to be one of the startups that doesn't have any legacy to bring along with you, there are very few people who've actually built and operated applications at cloud scale successfully. And there's a recurring pattern we see across so many of our customers. At each stage of your growth, your application reaches plateaus of scalability, where you have to reimagine it, recreate it, re-architect it, sometimes tear it down and start afresh. And this happens several times throughout the growth of successful companies. The fact is, scaling is really hard. And then if you're a legacy company, a mainstream company that has to bring along not just new apps, but you have to bring along old apps, it's even harder because your people are probably not familiar with the cloud. They're thinking about scaling vertically. That's how they were trained. That's how they spent their careers. Servers are thought of as pets, not cattle. This is a really hard transition for companies to do successfully. And then once you've scaled your apps and made them reliable, one day your CFO is going to come to your desk with a cloud bill in her hand, and she's going to say, "Why is this thing so expensive? What are you going to do to reduce the cost?" And that's if you're lucky, because if you're unlucky, it's going to be your investors coming and saying, "Why are we spending $10,000 a month on cloud, or $100,000 a month, or $1 million a month?" It doesn't matter. The cloud expenditure is a hard thing to control. And this is hard because there are several reasons that are just fundamental to the cost structure of cloud. One is that easy consumption, of course, means more consumption, just the law of economics. Right? The second is that adoption is viral. It's by nature decentralized, uncontrolled. So it's hard to manage. It's hard to predict. Third, cloud pricing models they're complex. And lastly, there are so many ways of accomplishing the same thing with cloud services. Lots of choices of services and configurations. And each of them have different side effects in terms of performance, reliability, security, and cost. And navigating those waters is complex. The fact is that all of this, let's be blunt, all of this is an art. And the degree to which you're successful in navigating these waters is largely determined by the experience that you have in architecting and operating in cloud. And we can't really discuss cloud costs without discussing the notion of the role of public versus private cloud. There are many people born in the cloud companies and especially in cloud providers who really think very earnestly that the only future of IT is in shared multi-tenant environments, public clouds. And they might be right. But there are tens of thousands of professionals who believe that there's a role for single-tenant environments, for hybrid. And maybe these are all dinosaurs clinging to the cliff as the wave of evolution comes past them, and they're just, at best case, oblivious to this transition that's happening, and at worst case, they don't want to recognize it. But more likely, what they recognize is that for classes of applications, private cloud is more cost-effective or easier to control or more secure. In the end, though, it doesn't matter. Every company is moving to IT as a service model. Every company, whether public or private, whether IaaS or PaaS or SaaS or DBaaS or MBaaS or whatever as, everyone's moving to an IT as a service model. And what matters is giving your users the right choices and then ensuring that they're successful in using the platforms they select. We live in a multi-cloud world, and that is the key to success. But the uncomfortable truth is that our industry has only a small population of people who have built and operated at cloud scale. And those skills are overwhelmingly concentrated in a small number of companies. So we have this ironic situation. On the one hand, every company knows they need to make the journey into cloud. But on the other hand, most lack the skills and expertise to do so reliably. Because these are hard problems, architecting for scale, for reliability, for security, optimizing cost. These are really hard problems. And CIOs have an existential decision they have to make. CIOs are facing a fundamental choice. Do they invest their scarce resources in becoming experts in the infrastructure platforms, which is a perfectly valid choice? Or do they instead invest on driving activities which will differentiate their companies, drive competitive advantage, and improve their business models? And this choice comes at a time when IT departments are at a fundamental crossroad, because it used to be that IT was in control. IT was the gatekeeper. They were probably the sole service provider. Today, IT departments that are successful, that are enablers, not hindrances to their business, have changed. And they're becoming enablers. They're becoming advisors. They're becoming the catalysts to success in the journey to multi-cloud. And in doing so, they're offering carrots to their users, not sticks. One best practice we see almost universally adopted is that IT departments are investing in creating service catalogs that have builds, tools, and images that solve for their users the hard problems of moving to cloud. They'll automate things like unified identity management, secure access into corporate databases, dealing with gnarly compliance issues. And by doing so, they let their application developers focus on the applications, not on the infrastructure problems. And they're also putting in these catalogs services like Rackspace offers, so that users can easily choose fully managed clouds where experts do the operations and the users and developers inside the company can focus on the application and on the differentiation that those applications give. And this is really powerful because it can make the difference between success and failure in cloud. But let's be clear, it's also hard. It's really hard. And that's why we're here. Because our mission at Rackspace is to make this journey to cloud easier for you. And we uniquely have the capabilities to do that. We built the 4th largest cloud in the world. We're one of a tiny number of companies that builds and operates at cloud scale, and we have that experience. We manage and operate diverse cloud platforms on a scale that no other company does. We see patterns across hundreds of thousands of customers. And because of this, we typically see new problems first. We see them, we learn from them, and we correct them. And this allows us to help our customers anticipate issues and prevent problems through design, architecture, and tooling. It allows us to guide customers early in their cloud journey to avoid the problems that others have encountered. This approach is so much faster and so much less expensive than doing it the hard way, than doing it yourself. It's really powerful. And it's especially important with the innovation rate that we see in cloud platforms. New features, new configurations, new options seem to become available every week. This is a really complex puzzle to optimize for cost, performance, security, reliability. But because we at Rackspace see patterns across so many customers, we have exposure to patterns that most individual customers can't see. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say we see more diversity in one day than any of our customers do in an entire year. And that is really powerful. And this happens across diverse clouds, whether it's AWS or Azure or OpenStack, whether it's public or private or hybrid. We do it for Fortune 5 companies at huge scale, and we help make small businesses on Main Street successful in this cloud era. Because the world's increasingly moving to multi-cloud, choosing the right platform for the job is critical to success. And our diverse experience allows you to do this because we have the expertise to operate the platform that's right for your applications, each and every one of them. And that's very unique. Now, this operational experience has allowed us to create this very virtuous cycle of innovation. Because as we operate, we encounter problems. As we encounter problems, we find solutions. And we have great engineering capacity as well as operating capacity. So for example, when our Azure customers wanted to take advantage of the public cloud, many of them sought the ability to federate their identity management systems. They had large investments in on-premise Active Directory systems, and Azure offers AD capability. And the primitives to make this federation work were created by Microsoft. But what our customers found out is they were hard to deploy reliably at scale. So we created a reference architecture that federates multiple AD zones and multiple Azure forests to allow for single sign-on federated identity that's highly available and works at enterprise scale. The bottom line is it reduces the friction, it increases the success of our customers' move to cloud. Our AWS customers can take advantage of a comprehensive set of tools designed to make their cloud journey successful. And this includes things like Passport, which gives secure and audible access, and that auditable is very important, secure and auditable access to AWS virtual private clouds. It includes Watchman, which monitors our customers' environments and automatically notifies us of anomalies so that we can investigate and correct often without our customers ever having to intervene. And finally, Compass, which scans our customers' environments and looks for opportunities to improve performance, reliability, security. It's a wonderful tool to allow us to deliver the best practices that we've developed over more than a dozen years of managing environments at scale, and allow that experience to help make our customers more successful in cloud. And on the OpenStack side, well, we're in a very unique position from which to innovate because we're the creator of OpenStack, we're the founder of OpenStack, and we're also the world's largest operator of OpenStack. We operate OpenStack clouds on a scale that others only dream of. That means we encounter limitations and we correct them sooner than anyone else. And because of this vast scale, we've solved problems that many of our competitors have never even encountered yet. The results are that when customers work with Rackspace, this innovation, driven by our operational scale and expertise, allows them to be more successful. Let me give you an example. We have an OpenStack private cloud customer that's delivering a cloud scale service to major enterprises. And it has very unique requirements of the storage subsystem. It requires very, very high throughput, very, very high IOPS, and then a massive numbers, terabytes of very small objects. And this is not something the OpenStack storage subsystem, Swift, was designed to handle. So we took our engineering team that had built the storage for public cloud, which was very high scale and very high efficiency, and we put them on this project. And they were able to deliver storage in our private cloud that met our customers' needs. Our customer was able to realize the benefit of this innovation that wasn't available and still is not from anyone else in the industry. This is the power of innovation that's enabled by large operational scale. And that kind of innovation doesn't just happen in the domain of software development, it also happens in the domain of process maturity, operational rigor, because of course, this is what really matters to deliver outcomes. So when we first started offering private clouds, the servers, network, and storage were in our data centers, and we would manage them and deliver industry-leading SLAs on top of them. And our customers started asking for that same capability to be offered for servers, network, and storage in customer data centers or in different countries around the world to be close to their customers or to address this growing problem of data sovereignty compliance. But they didn't want to compromise the industry-leading SLAs that we provide. Because of our operational maturity, we were able to launch earlier this year OpenStack Everywhere, which provides fully managed private clouds virtually anywhere a customer wants them with the same leading SLAs that we provide when we mention our data center. This was an industry first, and it was enabled because of our operational experience and rigor. There's a common theme here, and that's regardless of platform, on each one of these clouds, our customers get the advantage of the patterns that we've seen, the operating experience that we develop across hundreds of thousands of other customers. We've seen more than any single customer can. And keep in mind, cloud scale experience is scarce, but it's really important for success. So today, here at Solve, I'm really excited to make two announcements in this theme of using our operational experience to deliver innovation. So you're going to hear this first. Our first announcement, and this is really a big one. Today we're announcing that Rackspace has successfully managed 1 billion OpenStack server hours. 1 billion with a B. 1 billion hours operating, developing, and improving OpenStack. This is an astonishing accomplishment. It reflects more OpenStack experience than anyone in the world, and I bet by many orders of magnitude more. Thank you. Thank you. It's an incredible milestone. It's an incredible milestone. OpenStack is 6 years old, and we've managed 1 billion hours of it. That's just an incredible milestone. And this experience has driven OpenStack forward, allowing it to deliver capabilities for businesses all around the world that we never imagined a few short years ago. This billion hours of experience has led to more innovation than anyone, more scale, better reliability, more capability. We've overcome obstacles in reaching this scale. We've overcome obstacles that our competitors haven't even yet encountered. That's the degree of scale that Rackspace has developed. We've made OpenStack trustworthy, consumable, and reliable for businesses. Simply put, our unique experience over 1 billion hours has made it possible for us to deliver to our customers an OpenStack service that's by far the most superior in the world. And it's the reason that Rackspace is the market leader in OpenStack. So that's very exciting. Our second announcement today is also quite impactful because it deals with one of the hardest problems that any of us encounter in the world of cloud, and that's security. Security in the cloud is hard. It's different. It's confusing. It's complex. And the skills and experience base to successfully tackle it are very rare. But at Rackspace, we have the skills, we have the experience, and we make security simpler. So today, we're announcing that Rackspace Managed Security is available for Microsoft Azure. Rackspace Managed Security is a 7x24x365 managed security service that provides the full lifecycle of security management for our customers. Rackspace experts working in our Customer Security Operations Center monitor and manage, and this is very important, they monitor and they actively manage our customer environments. And they prevent, identify, and then remediate threats. In addition, we also help our customers address their complex compliance needs. We introduced Rackspace Managed Security for our dedicated hosting customers in January. And 2 months later, we made it available for Amazon Web Services. But today's announcement is particularly important because it marks a major milestone in making the multi-cloud world easy, reliable, and most importantly, safe for companies of all sizes, all types, and all capabilities. With this announcement, we're leveling the playing field to make the cloud journey successful for everyone. Thank you. So, what's so exciting to me about all this is we're just at the beginning. We've yet to see the full picture of how cloud technology is going to transform our society. But what's clear is by helping companies of all sizes, all types, and all skill levels make their journey to cloud more successful, we're enabling Rackspace's customers to realize their full potential. And in doing so, we're helping us extend our expertise in innovation. So what you see today, through all the sessions that we have here for you, what you see today is only the beginning of the value that we'll deliver tomorrow. And these are such exciting times. Thank you very much for being with us and starting our journey together here. Thank you.
All right, thank you.